With that, it's my great pleasure to introduce again the incoming president of ICSB, Dr. Geraldine Franklin, President-elect, and she will be leading our session that starts promptly at 1:30, which is Leading Through Financial Inclusion, the Global Impact of Women Business Owners. Can we please give her a big round of applause, everybody?
Good afternoon, distinguished guests. As the president-elect of the International Council for Small Business, I'm excited to be here as we have 6 highly qualified women who are going to speak with us today on leading through financial inclusion, the global impact of women business owners. Women-owned businesses matter to ICSB. Why? The International Finance Corporation estimates that globally there are about 9.34 million women-owned SMEs, which is approximately 1/3 of all SMEs. Still, there is a gender equality gap. Various research reports from the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor have determined that in only 6 or 7 countries, depending on the year of reporting, do women take part in business at rates equal to men. In most countries, women own significantly fewer businesses than men. According to a 2009 United Nations report, gender equality fuels growth by bringing women into the labor force, and by raising women entrepreneurs, the overall level of human capital, productivity, and wages rises. As a result, we know that women entrepreneurs can drive economic growth, but we also know that gender equality and women's empowerment across the world are essential for this to happen. Achieving gender equality and women's empowerment are integral to the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its 17 goals. This afternoon, 6 well-respected and highly regarded women are joining us to discuss the global impact of women business owners. They were asked to address one of 3 points or questions, with 2 focusing on each one. The first point in question: women continue to participate in labor markets on an unequal basis with men. How do we level the playing field? Dr. Katia Passerini, Dean of the College of Professional Studies at St. John's University and Professor of Computer Science, will be our first speaker. Her research spans knowledge management, entrepreneurship education, technology management, and computer-supported learning. And she has published over 100 peer-reviewed journal articles and conference proceedings. Prior to academia, she worked as a management consultant in the automotive and telecom industries. Dr. Zulma Quinones, professor at Inter-American University of Puerto Rico, will then respond. She has an MBA and an MA from Inter-American University and a PhD from Bowling Green State University, with significant postdoctoral work in entrepreneurship from Babson College and Indiana University. Her passion is on the development of young women, as she loves to stimulate their entrepreneurial spirit and see them achieve their dreams and become the leaders that they were meant to be. Katia and then Zulma.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Katia Passerini from the College of Professional Studies at St. John's University. We're discussing a topic that is very important, and I'm sure that it's not a surprise to anyone here in this room that there are still inequalities, and we haven't really leveled the playing field yet. In fact, our chair just reminded us of a very important report, the GEM. I'm also going to mention another study, the Global Entrepreneurship Development Institute, GEDI, not to be confused with JEDI, so JEDI.org, found that more than half of the countries that they reviewed scored less than 50 points in the Female Entrepreneurship Index. And the only countries that were really topping their statistics, the top 10 countries, is in addition to the US and Australia, if we look at them, UK, Denmark, Netherlands, France, Iceland, Sweden, Finland, and Norway. This is a very, very limited geographical concentration. The Nordic way, and there is a lot that we have to learn from the Nordic countries for sure, but we have to be broader. In Europe, this report states we really have to make sure that we teach women that they can run their businesses also where they live. They don't need to leave their own country. And although there is a lot of mobility within Europe, they can do this right from their home. In Latin America, the same report says we need to teach women to export even beyond the local confines. So it's not only local entrepreneurship, but going beyond. In sub-Saharan Africa, we really need to give more access to financing. We need to give women ownership of bank accounts and training on how to manage financial assets. And in East Asia, I think this is very important, the report finds that we have to improve skills perception and self-efficacy. And unfortunately, lack of self-efficacy is really still a problem. It remains abundant, and we need to make sure that collectively we level the playing field. Now, I would like to talk about the Me Too movement, and sometimes we don't want to talk about this, and I know we are on video, but really, did anyone believe that there wasn't a command and control structure within the entertainment industry? We always knew that. And we also know that it's in a lot of other industries. Yet, until the hashtag Me Too movement started, we weren't really able to advocate for ourselves. And then a revolution started. And then it became a collective movement. And in an irony of all sorts, I'm communicating this for those who are traveling from other countries, on May 8th, actually, we just learned that the New York State Attorney General that was suing Weinstein had to resign himself because of allegation of abuse on women. There was an excellent report in the New Yorker. And unfortunately, we know that even in the nonprofit sector, we have had similar reports, Oxfam, for example, and we have some cases also from UNICEF recently. But the hashtag Me Too movement started a collective discussion and empowerment, and we have seen really ripple effect. A lot of abusers across industries are paying more attention, and if we expand this in an international context and we can make this hashtag Me Too global, then we can eradicate the one continued and overrated reason why women are still kept behind in the industry. The physical dominance, which engenders all sorts of objectification of women, who are treated as objects of desire and abuse rather than the intelligent, enterprising, and inspiring innovators that they are and that they can be. We need to discuss this because it's still an issue. So leveling the playing field means addressing some of the negative repercussions that cultures built on the concept of masculinity seem to perpetuate. But we cannot blame it all on masculine culture. That's one of the issues. But there are a lot of other things that need to exist. So MasterCard completed a report in 2017 on women entrepreneurship, and it found that the ecosystem has to offer financial inclusion, again, our topic today, ease of doing business, quality of governance, avoiding restrictions, inefficiencies, and moreover, established training. Only in these ways, with the structural transformation, we can overcome sociocultural barrier. The title of this session is Financial Inclusion, and this is what we also need to focus on. Give loans to women, promote women entrepreneurship to financing. We are at the UN. I like to say IFA, the one of the UN organization, does exactly that in agricultural development. This agency is based in Rome, and it gives a lot of loans to rural Africa and beyond. And why do they do that? Because they've seen that giving loans to women builds the economy. Over and over again, we've seen women invest the financial resources to support their family and to share the wealth. I'm from St. John's University, so I have to talk about St. John's, but I'm really privileged to be part of the advisory board of a small organization called Globe that is run by the Tobin College of Business at the university, and it's an organization which is student-driven that does microfinancing for developing countries, but especially if we look at in the advisory board, we look and approve the number of loans requests, it's generally women that get these loans. And why? because they repay the loans, they build the reputation, and then they continue to get other financing. And the beauty of this organization is that it can operate worldwide, even if it's student-led and driven by Dr. Linda Sama, who's a professor of management, with the help of the Daughters of Charity, which are spread worldwide. So look at this, women helping other women. So in conclusion, I want to just close with these 2 points. There is a lot of more progress that we have to do, but we can start with 2 things. 1, show women the money. And 2, let's establish a new hashtag. This hashtag has to be we too, women entrepreneurship too. Because I think we can create another movement, and we need to be steady. The Sustainable Development Goal cannot be reached without higher inclusion and participation of women, who are over half of the population. Thank you very much.